It being 7 o'clock, I'm going to call the select board meeting for October 1st order. First on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is public comment. Is anyone here for public comment?
Good evening, Michael Lutz, your fire chief. I'm just here to introduce my 4 new firefighters. I'm here to introduce our newest members to the fire department. The difference between these 4 firefighters is I decided to try a new strategy. The reason for this new strategy is that we've tried in the past has failed. So in an effort to get residents of Clinton, I decided to hire non-EMTs and train them ourselves with the hope they would stay because of their ties to Clinton. First is Kevin Shepard. However, he lives in Lancaster. You can see the town line from his home. Kevin and his wife were just adorned with another child. Kevin is studying for his EMT through the newborn stage. Kevin is not here because he's at EMT school. So he's number 1. Second is David Holt. David has received his EMT certification and is slated for the Fire Academy December 1st, 2025. Dave, stand up. David Holt.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome. Thank you.
Third is Michael Silva. Michael is a 2nd-generation firefighter whose father is retired out of Lowell. Michael is getting ready to test for his EMT certification in October.
Hi.
Fourth is Robert Gaudette. Robert has just recently achieved his EMT certification and is waiting for a class assignment for the Fire Academy.
Welcome.
Hi.
Howdy.
Welcome. Thank you.
Now, hopefully, we can fill our fire prevention officer's position, move the deputy to days, then I will hire the last 2 positions and achieve full staffing, hopefully within the next 24 months. But just introductions, just
Yeah.
brief. We're gonna be scheduling, I was just talking to them, I talked to Holly Sargent, we're gonna do a pinning ceremony, and all that, just trying to work out all the particulars because now they're gonna start to go to the academy, so I gotta try to put it together as quick as I
Yeah.
can.
No, I appreciate you coming in and introducing everyone. And thank you so much for willing to come to Clinton. And we're happy to have you here.
So we're 50% on EMTs already, so we're doing
Great.
good.
Great stuff.
Great.
Thank you. Good chief.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I have to say, it's a good-looking crew.
Service strong.
Good luck with your jobs.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, guys. Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, Mike. See you later.
Oh,
No. Okay, thanks.
all right. Can I?
Oh, geez. Feel free to stay. Next up is a library director Marie Latarte to give us a project update.
So I don't know, Maria Tart, library director, I figured I should do that. I don't know, you were paying attention. Well, you were at the meeting, right, on the 16th. A week later, the Permanent Building Committee, then I sent, you have the matrix. They filled out the matrix that didn't quite make it on the screen before everyone took off. And they didn't say, you know what, the Chestnut Street new building is a better choice for Clinton, for
Mhm.
Clinton residents. So that's where they're going. And the OPM said they are in the process of securing a surveyor, instrument survey of utilities topography and meters and bounds. I don't really know what that means, but, and the architect is also going to be working with me and my staff and residents for refining the design for Chestnut Street, because there's a certain level of design that needs to be submitted by the end of December. And I do know that this came up in the meeting, so I did a little bit of research on usages for former libraries when they build new. And this was completely dependent on them getting back to me, and not everybody does. But that is under, it says, I think this is a file that I just sent. Again, not sure if Mike got it to you in time, but out of the survey, the libraries I surveyed, 4 of them were reused into municipal offices. 4 of them were sold. 3 of them were torn down. 2 of them were turned into community centers. And 1 that they just opened this fall. They have a building reuse committee that is trying to get a lease for the building. So that's just, I know that it's not, like, nobody's quite sure at this point,
Right.
but there are options, I guess, is really what I was going with that.
Okay.
And then also a question came up is what happens when you get a new library or a renovated library? And I just randomly picked 10 libraries. I was trying to pick close ones, but they don't have a lot of information. So I don't know. Again, I'm not sure you have this, but Bolton, Boxborough, Granby, Harvard, Hopkinton, Leominster, Lunenburg, Shrewsbury, Grafton, and Webster were kind of the closest ones I could find that seemed relevant. They're various sizes. All of them except 1 had an increase in usage, anywhere from, oops, wrong side, anywhere from 1% increase to a 85% increase. And 1 of them, Grafton, had a decrease, but they did open in January of 2021, so that could be why they had a decrease.
Yeah.
And then in terms of visitors, they all across the board again, except Grafton, had an increase in visitors. That's just, kind of down and dirty, looking at the data. And I know that it was a concern, it was a question, but it is kind of, now I have numbers. Now you have numbers.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was your question. So I don't know if you have any questions for me. No?
No, so the end of December is when the design is to be submitted.
Yeah, it is the MPLCP level design, which is
Yeah.
Massachusetts Public Library Construction Program. And that is due December 31.
Mhm. And then,
And then they have to review it, they have independent reviewers, and then they either accept it or they send it back and say, oh, you got to make these changes. However, the process now includes submitting designs every time the architect Phil makes the change. It makes a change. It kind of has to go before the consultants, and they're like, okay, you can't do this or you can, so that when it comes to the review time, it'll pass.
Yeah.
To make it a little
some
better.
checkpoints in there.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then they have to come back there. It's great. Then they get estimate, goes back to the state, and then they determine what the grant will be based on the estimate. So again, can't come up with an estimate until you have a design.
Right.
And you should know that by March. Or I should say,
Reminder.
at their March meeting is when they would make the announcement.
I know you've been here a few times to give us these updates.
That's
Thanks
okay.
for repeating
Just
yourself.
the same thing. That's all right.
It's a lot of information coming through, so it's good to level set. Does anyone have any questions while we're here?
And this is kind of, this also last minute wasn't meant to be, but we did have resignation. And I think Michael might include that letter in your packet.
Mhm.
And so we've done this before. We kind of all know what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
sometime we'll have a joint meeting, right, between you and the trustees.
Okay.
Is there any common thread through the resignations? It seems like there's been happening.
There is not. They are health, work. I mean, like the last 3 have been all completely different.
Thank you.
No, I'm not beating them up as the chair of the trust. I'm just driving them away. We actually, just FYI, I do know of someone who is interested in presenting a letter of intent, and I know that part of that is you ask, there's a
Yeah.
little bit waiting period when you are, we do put the word out how
Right.
to do this, so
Yeah.
it's an open, It's an open process.
Exactly. Anyone who is willing to serve, please keep an eye out for a notice. So,
Mm.
great. Great. Thank you very much.
All right, well, thank you. There will be more open forums. for
Thank you.
sure.
for
Yeah.
providing That,
Thanks for
that
keeping
on
us on.
those two questions that I had. I
Yeah,
appreciate
okay,
it.
so yeah, there will be, there's probably going to be one at the beginning of November and the beginning of December.
And then more next year. too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Questions?
No, I think
No, okay.
good.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you for listening. Thanks.
All right. Next up is the town administrator report.
Okay, Madam Chair, just a couple things I wanted to share with the board. I do have a bunch of updates on my desk that I'll be sending out to the board the next couple of days, but just a couple I wanted to highlight tonight. The first off, just on healthcare, I know that's going to be a big an issue this fall with the renewal and what we're going to do based on our 25% increase last year. So I attended a health insurance, a healthcare forum for municipal officials yesterday. The MMA was putting on, and it was sold out. It was a huge turnout, huge issue amongst all communities, and unsustainable to be able to keep up with these health insurance increases year to year. We had 25% last year, but most communities are all 15 to 20%. So the Insurance Advisory Committee, we have been meeting early. I think I mentioned to the board that we did meet as soon as school started. There's another meeting next Wednesday. One of the topics that the employees want to really pursue, or not pursue, but at least look into thoroughly this year is to join the State Group Insurance Commission. So that's something. There was one of the commissioners that presented yesterday. So I did speak with him afterwards and asked how we could get more information and more knowledge of how they operate, what they offer, what their plans are. So he's going to help get us some information as well too for that meeting next week. So we'll kind of keep that on the radar, because come budget, that's going to hopefully we won't have hopefully the issue we had last year, but it will still be a big impact one way or the other. So.
Is that Maya? Maya, the state run?
The state run is the Group Insurance Commission. So Maya
Okay.
is run by the MMA. They have a consortium of
Okay.
all cities and towns that they put together, Maya.
This is
And then the
different.
state, what they offer for the state employees, cities and towns can also join that group as well too.
Okay.
So it would be joining the group that the state employees are in.
Okay.
So that's GIC. What happens with that is then the town is out totally. So if we join the Group Insurance Commission, the state will just send us the bill every year as to what it is. So there's no input on to what's offered, how they do it, how they run it, what the costs are, what providers they use. The state makes all those decisions. But I think employees feel they have competitive rates right now, and some of their offerings, they may have, more offerings than what we can do on our own, just offering the one provider. So they have a couple of different providers on the state level. So, but at least if all the information is out there, it's all apples to apples, and then people can make the recommendation to the board as to what we need to do. The only thing is their deadline to notify them if you want to join next year, it's December 1st. And they won't come out with their rates until probably March. So you won't know what their rate increase is. We probably won't know by that time either what our Blue Cross rate increase is as well. But our consultant is at least trying to get them to give him some feedback, or at least a sense of what it will be, so to help us with that decision. So it's a tough decision when you got to know, make a decision ahead of time before you know all the information. So that's been looming large. So.
Okay. Just some consideration. I don't know how closely the finance committee is following this on a regular basis. And I don't know if it's worth sending them an update, because this was a rather insane jump last year that they had to address, and trying to get them more in the loop So they can be aware of some of the issues that we're up against, so that when it comes to budget season, it's not like they're well informed at the start about like kind of trickling information to them. So even if it's just a quick update that this is on your radar,
Yeah.
this is kind of like what we're up against, a paragraph or so, just to kind of keep them.
Okay, good. No, good idea. And probably, that might be good after next Wednesday's meeting. I can
Yeah.
certainly circle back and let them know where things are. Yep.
Yeah,
Good.
just kind of want to like start to, and I can reach out to the chair too, but like, I think sometimes like it's the presentation, but I kind of want to bring them down this path with us so that we can, like I said, not be surprised by people who might are asking for more staffing, or there's a decrease in their budget or increase, like, capital expenses. So it's, they're kind of aware of the situation before
Yeah.
the season officially kicks off. But
Right.
to me,
Instead of
likely-
everything all at once.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we'd love for it to start earlier and work our way a bit. Maybe this is the beginning of it, just to kind of keep them in the loop.
But
Okay.
you're still not gonna have any prices until March. anyway,
No.
For any of the plans, right, Mike?
Right. Generally for renewals, they're
Mm.
usually after the first of the year. Yeah. So it's,
But I think too, like just letting them know, like the deadline to join, if we wanted to join, the deadlines to join is before the rates,
Yeah.
yeah, there's nothing really to talk about money wise, but it was, I think, kind of one of those. I mean, I know it happened to many, many towns. We are not alone, but
Yeah.
just heads up was good.
one of the big drivers that they've indicated at that forum and our consultant indicated was the GLP-1 medications, which is for the
Yeah.
weight loss medications, that have been, utilization is going up so high. So the cost is really impacting health insurance. Come July 1st, Blue Cross has already notified the town of Clinton that they will not cover them anymore. Only for diabetic patients will get covered. So if you don't have diabetes, you won't get covered. It could be a decision an individual town could make if you want a rider on your premium to cover them, and then they'll just charge our premium based on that. The Group Insurance Commission announced yesterday that they're looking at potentially, which they said they don't like to make mid-year changes, but they're looking at potentially of canceling the GLP-1 drugs for state employees this fiscal year, halfway through the year. So by January, they're looking to make a decision next couple of weeks to stop it by January. So that's become, I guess, a way of looking at how the carriers are looking at it, as well as the employers. How do you try to control this cost? I know at the forum yesterday, people were, questioning like the medical field and the cost of providing medicine. Is there a way to control it there? On our end, we only can really look at plan designs, which means that employees are paying more out of their copays or different pockets. But they mentioned yesterday too that that's not going to solve the problem. So it may save a couple % here or there on your premium, but it's not going to solve the healthcare crisis, and you're just shifting the burden onto your employees to pay that. So everything right now, we're just looking at everything that's out there and seeing what the industry is giving us and what we can do to make any changes to see if it can help. But we can't sustain another 20+% increase this year again. So it's crazy. I mean, the hope is that adjusted itself last year, and that our consultant feels it'll be more within the industry norm this year. But you're still looking at the industry norm could be still double digits. It still could be 10, 12, 15%. So it's a lot. So. In talking about, been talking with the assessors and the town accountant, they're working towards a position of potentially having tax rate information earlier this year than later. And I know based on some leave time for some of the people involved, that November might be a little tough with scheduling. So I know the board's next meeting talking about October 22nd. If information was available, would the board be open to entertaining maybe the tax rate hearing at that time? If we can pull everything together, so instead of waiting till late November. So
That would be in board with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I would be too. Okay. All right, good. Thank you. I should know more in the next couple of days, working with the assessors, whether that's doable. So thank you.
Okay.
All right. The other issue is, I know that the board had received a letter from Mass Housing. Today, there was a walkthrough on the site at 23 Coin Street. The developer there of that property has filed with the state for a Chapter 40B affordable housing project to go in at that property. So we haven't done one of these, so this is going to be kind of new for us. So what happens is Mass Housing, quasi-state agency, will review it. If they feel that it meets criteria, they will give it a, I guess, quote unquote, permit or approve their application or whatnot. And then that will come back to the town, but it doesn't go to the planning board, it goes to the zoning board of appeals. So then it's going to be up to the zoning board to make a determination whether or not it gets permitted. So what they do is there is a 30-day comment period to allow the community, it's not a public hearing, or I mean, I guess anybody could submit comment, but they don't hold a public hearing. They did this site walk with town officials today, and October 22nd, which we're going to push out that date. They did say to us today that the 30-day comment period deadline was October 22nd, but that they routinely will do a 10 to 15-day extension. So the gentleman from Mass Housing was there today, so he did state if we send him an email and ask for an extension, that it will be approved. So if the board is okay with that, I was going to send an email tomorrow to extend that timeline so that at the board's next meeting on the October 22nd meeting, that this could be an agenda item for the board to discuss. I'm asking all the department heads to review the plans and submit any of their comments so the board can see them and be aware of it. They suggested that all the comments come through the select board or the town administrator's office, and we submit them to them in a group instead of getting one here, one there, and kind of trying to keep a better tally on it. So certainly this project did go through the planning board, and there was a lot of abutter and community concern and input during that process. So I think they did have pretty packed rooms here when that came across their hearings, the hearings at the planning board. So if there are issues that were raised that the select board feel are pertinent, you can put that in your comment as well too, and send that to Mass Housing. So, and if there's any infrastructure concerns or traffic concerns, that those can be put into the package, and then Mass Housing will work with the developer to see if they could be mitigated or incorporated into the development before they give approval and before it comes back to the town. So at least the state is trying to help work with the community to try to make it a better submittal, for lack of a better word, to say that their submittal will be at least addressing some of our concerns. With that being said, then it's really up to the zoning board to review that final package to determine what the outcome will be. What the state will do, because they know that towns don't do this all the time, the town can apply for a $15,000 grant to hire a consultant to help the zoning board as they're reviewing the project when they, if they have any questions or help them with the process. So that would go through the planning, the zoning board. The planning board did indicate that they will submit a letter based on they have thoroughly reviewed the project when it came before them. I think the issue, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think it was, I think more of the number of units that they couldn't come to agreement on. And so the developer withdrew and went a different route. So I think the planning board was willing to do a letter to state the concerns and points that they were trying to put forward through their process. So they'll do a letter. I know DPW is going to do a letter because there are concerns about sewer, water, drainage, different issues up on that site. Coyne Street is a small side street off of Kilmurray, off of Berlin Street. So it is, you're going to be adding a lot of traffic to that road because it's going to all be in and out. So it extends 5 acres up into the ledge and the woods up in that area. But it's only going to be one outlet onto Coyne Street to Kilmurray onto Berlin. And they're looking at 24 units right now. They're triplexes. I don't have the plan in front of me. I forget how many there were. There were triplexes, there was one duplex, and then a quad to make up for it. So there was that duplex of 2 because they couldn't fit it in that spot. They could only fit 2 instead of 3. So then in a bigger area, they put in 4 to make up that difference. But they're all 3 attached units in these units. So making up 24, I think total. There were 24 total.
24,
units,
yeah.
So. So that's just something to be aware of for the next meeting, and we'll at least try to get all the town boards to give their input to the select board, and then see if the select board is willing to submit those comments to Mass Housing, and then take it from there.
You said we got an email on this?
Oh, sorry.
Did we get an email on this?
Yes, yeah. The Mass Housing sent the email to you directly, and then after that, they have a consultant that sent us the plans for the project through a Dropbox link. So then I had sent that Dropbox link to the board. That was probably a couple of days later. She was having technological issues and getting me the plans. So then I submitted that separately. But there would have been a email to the select board email from Mass Housing that sent the letter to the board directly.
Madam Chairman, I did attend that walkthrough. Phil was there. There was good representation of town government officials. But as Mike alluded to, that during the planning board hearings, and that there were a lot of abutters and people who live in that area. And then having walked it, I mean, I can see their concerns because where the potential buildings are projected to be, very close to the backyards of a lot of people in that area, particularly on Berlin Road and stuff. So after, as I said, walking that site, I could see why people would have concern and why they did participate in coming to the hearing. So I would really like the board to really educate themselves, because I think it's really an important project for people up in that area and in the impact, so.
Yeah.
Is there any truth to if the town's percentage of affordable housing is under 10%, that there's very little that can be done to stop?
Mr. Duffy might have better information on that.
Sure.
Do you want to come up? Yeah, just
Yeah,
so
do
that
you
way
mind?
people can hear.
Is this it?
I know.
Right here?
No.
Is this it?
No.
No,
Anything with housing.
I know. I'm,
So just as a broad overview of 40B, Chapter 40B, for those maybe listening who may not be familiar with the law. It's a longstanding law in the Massachusetts general laws that allows a developer to bypass local zoning controls in exchange for dedicating 25% of proposed units as affordable. So that means setbacks, height limitations, lot area requirements, all those kinds of things are out the window. In this case, and as Matt alluded to, towns who do not have a subsidized housing inventory equal to 10% of the total housing units in town are vulnerable to a 40B application. And we don't. We are at about 7.6%. That said, as Mike said, we have never seen a 40B before, in part because our zoning already provides developers an abundance of tools at their disposal if they wish to create housing at high density. Our standard lot area requirements at 12,000 square feet and 18,000 square feet are among the lightest in the region. And we have a variety of tools for, planned unit development, for what used to be called cluster development. I can't remember what we call it now, but we have a bunch of regulations in our local bylaw that allow for developers to build at a greater density than the underlying zoning. So.
And then I have attended a couple of the planning board meetings. This project initially started out as the triplex that were 3-bedroom, and it got pretty contentious between the developer and the planning board. Is this the direction that this is shifting to? Because I don't remember it being 24 units initially.
No, it was 12 units initially. It was 12 units initially, and so the increase in density, and that 12 units may have been derived from the formula in our zoning, which is 18,000 for the first unit and 36 for the first and 18 for each additional. Is that right? No, it's it may have been derived from the formula. Yeah, I've known it for a long time. Yeah, no, it was originally 12 units, and now it's 24 units, 6 of which will be affordable to persons making 80% of median household income.
Which I think today they couldn't give an exact number, but they said it might be in the ballpark of $250,000.
I think their
Sale
application
price
says
is
257,000.
affordable is 250,000.
Yeah. I think it's
That
250.
that would be 6 units. I think.
Yeah, 6 units at roughly $257,000. I think that's what was in the application.
Yeah.
So they make those available via a lottery. And actually, part of the discussion today was very interesting one, which we experienced in the planning board, because we require affordable housing as part of planned unit development. You may remember the Bigelow Lofts, which are on Main Street opposite the O'Malley's gas station. Those condominiums were intended to be affordable. You create an affordable apartment, people come out the door. It's great. An affordable unit, though, has 2 liabilities. One is that though you buy it at an affordable price, you have to sell it at an affordable price. It's deed restricted. And the second is structural, in that the kind of the delta between an income that qualifies for that mortgage and the income that qualifies as affordable, that band is rather narrow. So in that instance, they had trouble attracting qualified buyers. Don't know if that will be the instance in this case, but.
Madam Chair, Phil, what happens when there aren't enough qualified applicants able to get a mortgage for whatever the affordable price is? What happens to the properties then?
In this instance, I don't know, because this will be a 40B, and so it's outside the local zoning bylaw. In the instance with Bigelow Lofts, the developer came back to the planning board asking for relief from that requirement. We granted it, but we otherwise met the planning board. I was on the planning board at that time. Made a determination that the intent of the bylaw could otherwise be met by him making a contribution to the Clinton Housing Authority, and so there was an amount of per dollar unit for each unit that was released that he conveyed to the Clinton Housing Authority.
Thank you.
And did I hear you correctly? It's 20% of the units,
25%.
25% of the 24 units would fall under the, okay,
Would be designated as affordable.
affordable housing.
I'm going to admit, I do not recall seeing this email.
I can't find it at all.
I got it.
Yeah,
I have.
Do you recall one?
yeah, who sent it? Do you know?
Yeah, the gentleman from Mass Housing was
Yeah.
Mike
Mike Busby was his name.
Mike Busby was his name.
Yeah.
Two E's?
We could
Oh, no.
maybe search.
I'm searching for housing, I'm searching for 40B, I'm
I
searching
know.
for Coin Street. I'm not
Yeah,
getting it.
I'm not getting it either. Mary, did you get it to your
Yes, I did.
personal account
Yeah, I got
or
it
do you town account?
through the town and through my own, too.
Well, there was
Someone
one that,
circulated?
yeah, the state sent one, I think, just to the select board. And then I sent a follow-up with just the plans. I don't think I have the state letter. It was just the plans from the consultant. So I sent that a couple days later. So that would have
Days.
been.
What time of year was this?
Yeah.
It was just probably what, a week and a
Yeah.
half ago.
If you don't have them, I have an idea of what may have happened. If you don't have them.
I never saw that.
Okay, it's a 22 meg file, and I don't know if our new email server handles files like that.
No, but it wasn't the file though.
You said link?
Mike Busby there just sent just the letter.
Yeah, no,
Just notice.
No, I mean,
Notification letter.
what you mailed may not have come in.
Yeah, you sent to the select board email, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
Could-
the
could
other,
you-
the other,
I actually have the plans out in my car. Do you want me? you
I
wanna
mean,
see
I
it?
That's
just-
cool, I'm just wondering why we didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you see the plans?
I'm sure someone tried to,
I don't-
I'm letting people know it
Yeah,
didn't
I can-
make it to 3 of us at least. So if someone could maybe recirculate the ones that you got, like, I don't know.
yeah.
Mary?
So did you get the one from me too?
Nope.
No, I know, I'm
Really?
sorry.
I'm
I don't-
looking
if
for
you-
yours
I
now.
don't know what the
I'm
subject
not seeing anything back to August.
I get
No,
a
this
lot
would've
of.
been- this would've
emails
been
from the same
last week.
people. So I usually notice when new people.
Yeah. I think, do you want me to forward them now? Or if we go?
I mean,
Yeah, we'll go
it's
forward.
a sufficient update, but. Like I said, I don't.
This
get a
actually
lot
be,
of-
this could be proof of concept. I've noticed that our older email server, I think, handled larger attachments. So
It's not on
I
my
don't know
John,
how that's possible,
or-
but I don't
and if it
believe.
didn't get bounced back to him, I don't know why.
Okay.
Did Matt get it?
No,
Okay.
Okay, so 4 of us did.
I'm going back to September 22nd at this point.
I'm in August now.
no, it wouldn't have been that. It would have been in September. It would have been like in the last 10 days.
Okay. Well, I was like, am I losing my mind here?
And did I hear correctly that it was something about Dropbox?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Dropbox link from the consultant who's assisting the applicant.
I something I think we just kind of need to start pivoting towards is with Office 365, that should replace Dropbox altogether because then
Yeah.
everything is live. It's shared in a common area because Dropbox is not connected to
I mean,
our
I'll
system
Yeah.
now.
I'll take it one step
Dropbox
further.
would have had to have been downloaded from the consultant's Dropbox
Yeah, no.
and then re-uploaded to the one.
Gotcha.
I mean, when I search Dropbox, I see all of Michael's emails. So you know. That's fine. Right. If you had anything else going on. Stop looking now.
Sit down again.
What?
Do you guys need me for anything else?
I mean, not right at the moment.
Not at the moment. Return to my seat.
Go back to the gallery. I mean, I would go so far as to say maybe like calendar invite. with a link in it. Call me crazy. Call me crazy.
Yeah, even in my personal email, I don't see anything. Which usually everything is sent out.
Yeah,
to both.
doubly. Yeah.
Alrighty.
What if it was, we're missing an agreement as I've seen.
I'm missing my kids' field ice game too, so. Let's move it along.
Well, while Mike's doing that, why don't we just move on with
I don't know if that's the end of his report, but he can continue on when we're done. All right, we'll move on to administrative business. 1-day wine and malt license request for Ghost and Goblins Run.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the 1-day wine and malt license request for the Ghosts and Goblins run on November 1st, 2025.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. All right, next up, we have an ARPA update. Maybe we can go out of order. Keep in mind. 329 High Street request for proposals. Didn't know you'd be back so soon.
Good evening. I'm only here because I saw it on the agenda under
Okay.
old new business. I have no updates since our last meeting, but since you had received your copy of the RFP at our last meeting, if you had any comments that you wanted to convey at this time, we'll be revisiting this and hopefully finalizing it at your next meeting, hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll have the appraisal by then.
Okay.
But I just wanted to make myself available if there are any comments coming out of our last meeting and the documents I submitted to you.
I don't know if it just was on the agenda because we didn't have time to
Yeah,
review it.
yeah, Mike mentioned it. I said, in case you guys wanted,
Yeah,
in case you had anything, I put it on the agenda under old new.
and then we did put out a notification for people interested in the committee.
172, yeah.
172. All right. How do we, for that 329 High Street committee, I forget what you referred to in the document.
Yeah, 329 doesn't need a committee, but
Oh.
172 does. So-
Oh.
Yeah, 329 was just Phil had given the board a draft RFP, so we just didn't know if there were any further
Okay.
suggestions before it gets put on the street.
Yeah, and we'll be meeting, it won't get put on the street until you meet again, but just in case you had any interval comments.
I do not have any questions. Does anyone have any questions?
Just how soon do you need that committee?
Soonish. I don't think we'll have the final information that we'll need to put out the RFP until probably January for 172 Sherman Street. But there's no reason not to start that once we've identified the qualified people who have expressed an interest in participating.
Is there a way we can put the word out to the community that we're looking for? You know, a QEP, a Chamber of Commerce representative, is there a way to outreach these different groups?
We can outreach directly, and I have already gotten a confirmation from a QEP. I can reach out to the chamber. From what I understand, a local attorney has expressed an interest participating in. It's finding that person from the banking or brokerage world that I haven't reached out to. There are people I've worked with in the past, but I'm also wondering if there's some benefit in getting away from the usual suspects. Not only for new perspective, but to no longer burden them. They may enjoy it, but they're kind of like the person you always go to.
There is on the front page of the website, there is a general notice asking for people to express interest, but it doesn't list out the different categories of specialties. It's
And that's
just saying,
a-
if you're interested, let us know.
And that's okay, because we're also looking for just a person from the community, just the perspective of somebody who's a citizen of the town.
Mhm. I can put that out on Facebook.
Yeah, social media would be the other way to put it out, to extend awareness of the request.
And Madam Chairman, I'd like to just express that, I've been interested with this since I got back on the board, and I
Right.
appreciate being the selectman's representative on the committee.
Okay. Right. I think we're good.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone.
And
Stay just a minute too, while you're here.
you need you to stop by, Phil.
And with the board, I did resend those 2 emails, so I just want
Oh.
to see if it came through, just to see if we're having an issue with the Selectboard email.
I wonder what the score is.
3-3.
What inning?
Sixth.
Oh, it'll be over by the time we get home.
Was that mine?
It'll be over by the time we get home.
I got a couple of things.
I'm still not seeing.
computer's kind of. I mean, I sent an email to it today. And you got it, Bill, right?
Yes,
The-
I do.
I don't think I can.
Well, I mean, did you,
I think I.
okay. That's what you were confused about. Okay.
Oh,
Did anyone
this
get
is
the
that Karen,
Connect
right?
351
This is to
email I forwarded today?
No.
Okay.
I guess.
So there might be
trying to
something
get
going on with that
The-
email. Yeah, we could check.
Okay, I'll have to look into that.
I mean, I get some conservation stuff, but so give me something.
To select board?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be checking select board too?
No, it should come to your inbox, but we're saying that the distribution list for that or the alias for that email might be broken. But. let's
I
see.
just sent a test email
Okay.
to it to see if it came through, but
Okay, well, I could put in a ticket tomorrow and ask them to look at it, the help desk.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And then I can
Okay.
forward to the board's personal emails as well. So just so you have that information, the mass housing information. So,
Thank you.
okay. All right, well, while Phil is here, I just wanted to just to go over the ARPA. It's just a quick update on the ARPA projects. I know this is small writing, I apologize, but the only completed project since the last update was the Union Street water line, so that is done now. There's a lot of work on a lot of the other projects. So the chief had just told me tonight that the paramedic equipment has been purchased. The paramedic fly car is ready to go. I guess they're just finalizing payment and registration and all that. So that should be closed out by the next update. The technology upgrades, that's probably 80% done. We're doing the phone system next, but that's only a small piece of that whole project. So that's just about complete. The skate park had just a little bit more money to go on that. Mr. Duffy gave an update on the signboards at the last meeting. The downtown coordinator's ongoing. The grant business grants, those have been 2 awards, that those are still ongoing with those businesses. The emergency fuel assistance, that has been launched, that program. I think Mr. Duffy indicated there's about 30 applications have come through on that already, so that is up and running. I'll jump over the other 2 for now, but the auditorium chair replacement equipment, that's in process. Some voting equipment has been ordered. The chairs, they're trying to still work out delivery issues with the facilities department about taking delivery of those, because there's so many road resurfacing. They haven't built anything to that as of yet. But that will go quickly when it comes to it. The 2 issues that are outstanding that I wanted Mr. Duffy to stay here for was wheat and for Strand Theater. The Strand Theater, the new owners have submitted an application for liquor license that we're looking to have on the next board meeting for October 22nd. So it appears that project is moving forward. So have you haven't any update on that for the board, that how things are going?
I spoke with one of the lessors this week to get an update and see where we are. According to him, they're still collecting quotes from contractors and from suppliers of equipment. I conveyed again our urgency and our keen interest in understanding what this is going to look like moving forward. I have a meeting scheduled with him, not next week, but 2 weeks from today. And hopefully we're going to be, the 2 operators will be before the Strand Subcommittee within 3 weeks or so. Still moving along. They're still saying the right things. They are making progress. They've done some work inside. There's been some exterior work done. But they don't have the kind of the roster of uses that they propose for the funds in place yet. So, and hopefully when they meet with the subcommittee, they'll be able to fill in the community more on.
Are they going to
their
be
plans.
present at the meeting with the subcommittee?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that'll be the purpose of the next subcommittee.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
just a question about the liquor license application. Is it an application for an existing, is it a transfer of an existing license?
No,
Or is it coming from?
my understanding is that they have come to an agreement with the current owners and they're turning their existing license in, and they will be applying for a full liquor license that the town had just recently received through special legislation. It can only be used in the downtown area for economic development. So they would like to apply for that instead of just the beer and wine that was currently on the site. So
And the beer and wine has been returned to the town?
we have received a letter stating that they were now no longer going to be using that. Yep. So
And that license will be available for the town to issue?
yes, yes,
Unrestricted without a
Yes.
purchase fee?
yep, absolutely.
And that leaves us how many special legislation 4? Did we get 5?
6.
We're getting 6. Yeah.
Great.
Yep. So that'll be 5 left. Yep. So good. Thank you. And the other is through the weed assistance. Again, you know, they're still working. There was there's a gap of funding to move forward with the project. They're working on some alternate funding sources, but there's seems to be still some time before they'll know which way they're going on this project. So I know Phil has been keeping in touch with them regularly. So I don't know what you're able to maybe just brief the board of where we're at or what you can say or can't say right now. So
I think that in 45 days, we'll be able to say more thereabouts. I don't want to speak, disclose any information that may be confidential. But I spoke with the United Way director earlier this week. There'll be a slight change in the financial picture that'll be public in the next few weeks. And that may enable us to forward spend some of this ARP money so we can meet our deadline. But I've also expressed with him the importance of this project to the town and the significance of the town as an investor in this project. And as they enter into deliberative discussions, that the town have a seat at those discussions.
Madam Chairman, for me, Phil, and it always has been, I mean, I wouldn't want to see one dime of that 500,000 spent until we had a firm commitment to that they've achieved the money that they need to progress with the development that they had proposed, because I think to start using some of that money and unless, you know, they've got the money to actually go forward with the project, I'd be a little hesitant. I mean, that's only my, you know, I mean, I'd like to see something firm. I mean, you know, when Jody used to come in, she'd always have the numbers in front of her, or what, you know, it was gonna cost to, you know, complete a project and, you know.
Mary, I agree, but as we move forward, we understand that we do have this deadline on. the
Oh, I
horizon.
understand that too,
So-
but that still doesn't mean that we,
No, for the
because of the
purpose of-
deadline, if it's a project that, it's the same thing. If you can't complete the projects, then it's just like spending the money for nothing. I mean, I know we committed it, and if it doesn't go to that project, it's going back to the federal government. So I understand that, but
Well, we're, even as I think we're all on the same page, we're having informal discussions and brainstorming about the different ways that the feasibility of different paths moving forward if our expected path is not achievable. So I'm just letting you know that we're looking at things. Nothing, obviously nothing will be done without the approval.
just one other
Just-
question, Madam
okay.
Chair. Is there any good news about the old timers out there? Is there any?
Sort of. Sort of. I spoke with the owner about 2 weeks ago. And so just speaking to him, it's back on the market. And the reasons for it not being on the market had nothing to do with the marketability of the project, of the property per se. So, no, I have nothing to report other than that I had a conversation with the owner 2 weeks ago, and being able to have a conversation with him was a step.
I'm only asking because I hear it all the time from everybody. They always say, have you heard anything about the old timers? Is there anybody, interested? So I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just didn't know if you had any info, about whether there was any interesting parties, or is it an active?
Nothing material with it, but it is active now and it wasn't for a while.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
As far as the wheat project, I would request that kind of the town at least drive some of this meeting, whether it's off. Doesn't have to be at one of our select board meetings, but I would rather not wait to see what
No.
their plan is. I'd like to know, if it's possible to get a meeting together, whether it's someone from the board as a representative and yourself and whoever the stakeholders are, so we have an idea as to what's
No,
going on.
Absolutely. And as I expressed to you, I did express an insistence that we be part of these discussions. And they're very open to that. And I think I wouldn't want to have to be in a public setting, but if the board wanted to appoint one member to be part of that, I'm more than, that's an excellent idea.
Excuse me, but didn't someone take Jody's position?
Yes.
Yeah, well, why couldn't that person come in and do a presentation of where the project is? Is it now not anything for the public to hear, or?
No, it's not that. It's the person, Liz Leonard, who's in Jody's role, fulfills a different role in Wheat and the United Way than I believe Jody.
So she's
did.
not doing fundraising per se.
Yeah, remember Jody started way back when it was just plain old Wheat. So I mean, she's been part of the mission of the place for a while.
But she was incredible.
Yeah.
She was
And
incredible.
Liz is great too, but I don't think she's not in the project development side.
I mean, I think the deadline is kind of looming, correct?
15 months.
What?
15 months.
Yeah, okay, so we're just trying to keep things. I mean, we can't reallocate it.
Yeah.
Either use it or lose it, so I
Mhm.
guess as an investor, we're interested in,
Yeah.
keeping up to speed, so. Doesn't feel like there's a ton of information coming to us,
Mhm.
so a lot of times we gotta ask.
Well, I think
That's
half a
kind of where
million
we-
is a big investment. I think we should
No,
have a
that's what I just
bigger
said.
role in,
I mean, I don't know what the scope of the project is in total, like what our contribution is percentage wise of the total cost of the building. $500,000 does feel like a lot.
I mean, I thought when we committed, just from memory, when we committed the 500,000, I thought at that point, they were like only a little bit over $1 million in their required funding to accomplish
Yeah,
the
it felt
project. I mean, it
close.
wasn't millions and millions. It
No.
seemed like it was only like a little over $1 million. And
Yeah, that's my
at
recollection.
that point, they seemed pretty positive, and that's got to be 2.5 years ago or 2
Yeah.
years ago anyway.
A lot has happened in 2.5 years, but I
But
I
again,
think if
we've had no
Yeah.
updates. I mean, there's been no updates to this
well,
board,
exactly.
other than,
So we gotta
with-
ask.
with the board themselves asking questions to you about, and it's not your responsibility.
Right.
I mean, you should be I feel like someone from the organization should be answering questions for us. I mean, and I have no objections to a board member meeting and finding out, but I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't see any objections. I can't see why they would oppose to. They came before the board to
Yeah.
get the 500,000, so.
No, they would, I'm sure, yeah. And we've had that discussion before. I've had that discussion with the director, and yes, he's expressed a willingness to come before this board.
Yeah, I think I don't want to wait on their terms per se. I'd like to be pushing this is what we need right now from them. And whoever the United Way director is, whoever is the person that is, carrying the torch on that side, that needs to happen pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'll convey that, I'll reconvey that. But this time with the suggestion that it be your next meeting or the following.
I'm happy to do that too, if we feel like that would be my impact a lot. You have the relationships, I don't want to
But
intervene.
I'm aware of the numbers, but I'm not sure that,
Yeah,
that they're publicly,
I-
it's my place.
I
to
would not feel
disclose.
comfortable with you sharing that if they are not peer or have given that their blessing to, for that information to be shared. So appreciate your discretion. But I do agree with everyone of like an update every so often would be appreciated. And I think now starting to be expected.
Yeah, I don't think the burden is on Phil. It's the burden is on.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
As I said before, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't want to put it on you because it's not your responsibility. You're just the messenger.
Yeah.
Right.
Not until I win
Just
the
saying.
megabucks.
I'm sorry.
Not until I win the megabucks. Then
Yeah.
I'm happy to take on the responsibility.
Well, you should have been in Sterling and bought that $15 million ticket over the weekend.
How come doesn't it, well, you know what? I never remember to play anyways. My father used to say, you can't dream about what you'll do with the money if you don't buy the tickets.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Any more
Anything?
questions for
No.
community economic development? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Red Sox.
Yeah, I've seen that.
What do we got? Town hall hours of operation,
3 to 7.
3. Okay.
It's a big TV over there too.
Okay. Hours of operation.
So I just had a follow-up to, and just in reviewing the meeting minutes, when the select board voted unanimously, to create uniformity within the town hall with the employees' hours as well as the office hours. What was that ever established? Because one of the last agenda items was you had a meeting with the department heads. Everybody had been there, and I'm looking to confirm that it was communicated what the hours of operation were expected to be. I know that it said there was mentioning of the departments would be posting it on their website. So is that what we're going by, or?
Yeah, we had department head meeting where we discussed it, and I am now, since you've mentioned it, just going around to departments to verify what their hours are. So I'm putting, I can put that survey together and send it, email it to the board. But of the departments I spoke to, it seems like that they're 8 to 4 are their hours of the offices. So I haven't found an office that's not doing the 8 to 4. But I haven't heard from all of them. So once I can put that survey together and just put list all the offices and what their response was to me. So
And so would the employees also be working 8 to 4?
that I've asked what their schedules are too. So to give me what that schedules are.
I think that's the challenge that I'm seeing is originally when we voted on this, back, I think it was in either end of 23 or beginning of 24, that one of the findings within the Collins study assessment was, or recommendation was, to create that uniformity because departments were open at different hours, employees were working different hours, and that was the intention of the board to endorse the recommendations of the Collins Center to establish this is when the town hall offices are operating, and this is when the employees are there. We also included a path forward where if an employee wanted or had a reason for their hours falling outside of that, then they could bring it forth. And one of the individuals that, the only person that did that was the superintendent of public works. Came before us or made the recommendation or made the request that their hours can be adjusted for reason, which was approved. So outside of that, I guess I'm confused as to why there would be any variation between what the board had voted on unanimously and what is being executed today.
Do you actually know, Matt? Excuse me, Madam Chairman, do you know if there are any departments that aren't adhering to? I mean, if you're gonna say it's happening, I mean, at least let's just say is it this department, is it that department? So
It's
that,
more employee
so that
based.
Michael could, address the issue if there is a problem.
It was addressed 2.5 years ago, but it wasn't addressed. So, in speaking with human resources, that's the idea, is to, I'm doing a little bit of research to figure out what was communicated from the board to the town administrator, from the town administrator to the subordinates.
But again, what are you relating to? I mean, what are the employees doing? I mean, are they,
There's some
is there a
employees that are
violation?
continuing to work their own schedule as they see fit, and that was not the message that was brought forth by the Collins Center, and that was not what was voted on unanimously by the select board.
But again, do we know what departments these individuals are from so that we can address it, or? I mean, to me, that's how you can't just say, I know that this is happening. Well, where is it happening? And who are the people? I mean, that's how you address an issue.
So I would,
I'm not saying to say the individuals name on
Exactly.
television,
Yeah,
but if it
agreed.
is a particular department, then
well, that's why I was asking what was communicated to the individuals versus, by asking what was communicated, then either the practice is happening or it's not. And, there may be departments that it's not happening in, that we may not be aware of, but I guess it's coming back to, if the message was communicated from the select board down, how do we know, how are we ensuring how do we ensure that message was received and that it's being followed, right? For example, like not banking the lunch, right? That was something that was recommended by the Collins Center. The board voted on that. Is that happening? Did that practice end or did it not?
Yeah, and I can find that out for you. Like I said, I have asked departments if they could supply me with that information about their hours that the department's working and what the schedules of their employees, so I can find that out and then address any issue that doesn't seem to be conforming. So, and I've talked to HR about it as well too. And I mean, I know that Ray had indicated that when he was doing research on just getting up to speed on his office, that he thought that at that time of the that this was discussed, that there was some, which I don't recall, but there was the board had asked HR to maybe come up with a plan or policy or I don't know, but then he thought that was when the previous employee was leaving. So I don't know. I mean, he offered to help and come up with the policy if need be. If the board needed an actual written policy, he'd be willing to assist on that. But I don't know if the board remembers that HR was going to do a review of that. But in any event, we need to find out what people are doing now and see whether or not it's in place.
I mean, ultimately, the reason for bringing this up is whether it's misperception or not, some of the feedback we would receive on occasion would be the offices may be closed unexpectedly if somebody was coming up to conduct business within it. And I think there, whether it's a misperception or not, that, you know, we as, you know, we are public servants, and the responsibility of our roles within town government is to service the taxpayers. And again, misperception or not, there seems to be a employees, not all employees, I'm not, this is not a blanket statement, but basically this, the role here seems to not be a priority at times for other dealings that individuals may have outside of this job. And I think that that's where, if the employees are expected to be here 8 to 4, and they're not, then that's what I'm taking exception to. We've given the avenue where they can come forward and they can state their case as to why 8 to 4 may not work for that particular department. For example, the superintendent of the Department of Public Works. Perfect. I know in talking with Mr. McKinn, his job falls outside of 4 o'clock, so that doesn't necessarily work for the CCTV. Understood. But if there are people that are coming up to the town hall and the offices are closed prior to 4 p.m., because someone else, they're doing something else outside of that, then I think that's what that's evaluation or assessment by the Collins Center, that's what it revealed. And that's what we tried to address. So, you know.
I mean, if you take the assessor's office, man, I mean, I've been up here where, I mean, there's 2 assessors, they could be both out doing different types of, they have a computer out there. I mean, no one's ever come to me and said, geez, I'm complaining, I never was able to get, I mean, most of the time it's open, but I would think there are, you know, times when both of them have to be out of the office because of different requirements. But, I mean, I've been up here a lot and I've never, I mean, I think we're lucky we have some really great departments and great people. I mean, so that's why I'm saying I don't know where the problem is.
I think based on my recollection of some of those conversations, we were saying, you know, to that point, if we could be transparent. So we know the people here, we work here, we know the type of job they have that might require them to leave the office.
But they do put signs up. you know,
Yeah,
that
they're
say,
doing
you know,
that. If they're,
you know, we're out, we'll be back, we'll return.
if
you know,
they're,
I mean,
yeah, if their
I mean, that
information is
happens.
updated on the website, great. Like, hey, we might not be here. The best way to research is to make an appointment. Or I think so. I haven't looked at all of them, but I think if everyone has a sign on there, I haven't looked at every door that says, hey, we are traveling. We're out of this office a lot. You need us. This is the best way to call us. Because I think we assume people know, like, that if you're coming to this office, that they just know they need something, and that person may or may not be there. They may be there, and that might be great. It might not. It might be lunch. I mean, I've come, and the people have been on lunch, and they had a clock sign that said, "I'll be back in 10 minutes," and I just waited because then I knew to go back. But of course, you know, so I think we've made some improvements, and there's some offices that are 1-person operations. Like, how can we kind of look at this in the lens of customer service, while still supporting them? And then I'm sure that human resources too will also say, you know, when you're, you know, attracting employees and whatnot, like, you know, I don't know, is flexibility something that people want? I don't think we're going to solve it right now, but maybe if you can kind of, again, do some check-in. It's been a couple years.
Sure.
See.
Absolutely. I think it's a good, issue to pursue, to make sure that, that we are doing what the board wants us to do. But the challenge is always going to be, those one-person offices, so that's what's hard.
Right,
And,
which,
or lunch times that aren't covered or something like that, and people are out at meetings and different things. So, and to your point, Chair, the departments have gotten much better at putting notices on their doors. So, it probably is good to have a recheck and follow up to see where we are with all of that initiatives.
I mean, we've just updated the email system. That is a lot more usable, shall we say. I mean, I think prior to it, prior to it, I think in 4 years of being on this board, I've gotten one out of office reply saying I'm unavailable. So like, I'm sure there's also tools that we now have available. I mean, we did before, but now have more, readily available, where if someone's gone for the entire day, hey, I'm gone for the day. I'm unable to, you'll hear from me tomorrow or in the next couple of days. So it's, I think, hopefully like a courtesy. I think it's even a struggle for me to get down here between 8 and 4. So if you've taken time off from your job to come here, then sometimes that's where the frustration was. But all right, think we're good on that topic. All right. Next up, search committee for administrative positions.
So I just wanted to continue the conversation about the plans for whether it's securing a consultant to help with searches for vacant positions, whether it's the town administrator or the assistant town administrator, and the process that would ensue as far as requesting the funds from the finance committee. Here we are, October 1st, and I'm not really sure where that stands. So I don't want it to fall on the back burner.
So in August, we said we're gonna prioritize the executive assistant to fill that. Not entirely sure where that stands in the timeline. And then HR was planning this month to do the assessment to go to the personnel board related to classification of assistant town administrator. I think
Madam
I
Chair.
asked, 1 second. I think I'll have to go back to my email, was reviewing with town council whether the procurement for the town administrator search, how long that timeline is, whether we could, if financing became available, whether we could move forward under that same breadth of procurement. So I'll follow up with that and then probably reach out to the place we selected to see if they would even be interested in that. So,
My question is, why would the HR person write the job for the assistant, and why wouldn't it be Michael doing it?
why wouldn't HR write a job description?
Yeah, for that position, for the person that's going to be working for Michael. Why wouldn't
You don't
Michael
think-
write that job
Well,
description?
I mean, didn't you work in conjunction with Ray on that job description?
Yeah, we've been discussing it, yeah. So he's doing some research with other communities to see
Right.
on that position and the treasurer position on, what the salary is, what the duties are and all that. So he's in that process right now. So.
Madam Chair, could we request that Ray be here to present a report on the status of those positions? Or that Mike acquire the information from Ray and give us a real good update of why we haven't advertised yet for either one of the positions?
Well, we have advertised for the executive assistant.
Yeah, that one's advertised. That
And
one, I think the
then-
deadline is coming up. And I thought it was for 2 weeks, but then there was the getting it to the paper to get advertised. So I think the deadline is coming soon. So I did talk with Ray, and he has gotten applications, and I think the deadline is coming up soon. And as soon as that closes, then we're going to move forward on reviewing and interviewing for that position. So that's already moving ahead. So.
And also on the, I brought up the assistant position for HR person. Has that been advertised?
That I know after the last meeting, I spoke with him and he was moving forward with an advertisement, but I don't know for sure if it's been
I
in
didn't
the
see
paper or
it.
posted, but I know he was moving forward with it, so.
Well, I'd like an update on that too,
All right.
And maybe a copy of the job description
For HR.
for HR, for the assistant town administrator position.
Yeah, that, yeah, I think there is a draft circulating now, and again, that's where he was doing some additional research to see, what other towns have done, so I don't know if he was making any changes. The expectation is to, I think, determine whether it's this board in conjunction with the personnel board or the personnel board alone about the classification. If we're making substantive changes to the job description, does that require a reclassification by that board? But, yeah, I think we can reach out to Ray and get, an update on where that stands and get more answers than questions, so.
Is the intention for the, is it the intention of the select board to move forward with the consultant for the town administrator position?
That's my intention.
So then
it's not mine.
I'd like to have us have a set aside time for
let's have
a
a,
long discussion about
Okay.
the process we should use. Because I have opinions and experience in the matter, and I'd like to take the time to prepare my point of view and present it to the board.
All right, let's put that as an update on current positions, an update or any plan discussion on moving forward as well
I,
at the next meeting.
it's deja vu all over again, but it's, if this is gonna be part of a deliberate intent to, either derail or slow down this process, then I'd like to know by the next meeting that that's where we're going. I think we should have a meeting on the books with the finance committee sooner than later, as in like within our next meeting or 2 meetings that we have that conversation, because, we were all told the timeline that it was approximately 6 to 9 months for that to take place, and we're knocking on that door right now. So if we're gonna slow roll this, then let's get that on the table so we can work through it.
Madam Chair, I feel bad that we had to bother the finance committee last time. We've got $91,000 under our control as unused assistant town administrator salary. And I would recommend that if we're gonna hire a consultant, we just pay for it out of that.
I was under the impression that we could not.
I'm under the
But-
impression that that's under our control.
Yeah. So
I'm under
there's-
the
that's
impression
good.
that we can't until the end of the year, and it's surplus money. At the end of the year, you're allowed to transfer from one account to the other. And that's one of the other big problems with our budget. I don't want to drag it out now, but it was recommendations 15 years ago that we eliminate all these individual line items, and so that there's more flexibility for us to move with this stuff. And we can check it. It's my opinion that you can't take a salary account and use it for an expense.
Mhm.
And that's one of the problems
With the
that we
budget.
have with the way we put the budget together.
Yeah.
But I want to go back
Two
to
separate things. Yeah. go ahead.
Matt, when I said I wanted to have a serious discussion about this, I'm not trying to slow roll anything. I just want the opportunity to be heard.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll make a note of that for the next agenda.
Is it possible to have, town solicitor or the town council, provide legal advice on whether
The budget?
we can or cannot do that for our next meeting
Yeah, we can,
or prior to.
yeah.
Or I don't know if that would be the town.
There's probably a few action items out of that, a few things. Yeah,
Madam
we've
Chair,
talked about a bunch, but yeah, it's, again, I think there's a matter of confusion. about-
the other question I had is that town treasurer collector, we were gonna get a proposal from him for continuing a contract.
Yep, so we do have a proposal. I haven't discussed it with Jared as of right now, so I do have that pending on my to-do list. And as I said, Ray is also doing some comparisons with other towns to see where we are in that ballpark as well, to see whether it's something we're gonna stay with what we're doing or whether we want to shift to hiring an employee at that point. So.
Just one last question. With regard to the assistant for human resources, I know there was mention of space. And has that been solved for as far as where a second employee, how it would fit in, if it's within a new office, different office, relocating?
Yeah, I think as of right now, if it needs to move forward, talk with the superintendent of schools and they have space there and they're open to accommodating space down at that end. So I think, once the process starts going along to see who gets hired, when, how, what, and all that, then, at least we know that that's an option if Ray needs the bigger space or the separated space, that there's an option down with Dr. Meyer.
That's good to know. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any committee reports?
Yes, Madam Chairman, Class 2 committee met again today and it's become very complex and
Yeah.
there's two, like I mentioned in the last meeting, there's two main issues here. And so I think we're going to be meeting on a regular weekly basis. We are meeting again next Tuesday. We did have a very productive meeting today. And a lot of things came up. And so I think in the end, what we present to the Board of Selectmen will be in the town's best interest, not only for now, but for the future.
Great. Thank you.
The moratorium's expired, right?
Correct.
Officially, yeah.
Yeah, that was only on, Sean, for a year.
Yeah. The traffic committee met last week. We had a lot on the agenda and we've decided to meet next week as well. And we didn't get to all of the items, but one of them is winter parking ban along with a few other things. So those agendas are online if you want to see. Nothing really substantive to bring. Like I said, it was a lot of loose topics we've been kind of like carrying through related to an accident at the railroad tracks, some citizens requests. So can have a more comprehensive update if we meet again next week. All right, any other committee reports? Okay. Community announcements. We have none. And
Well, in between this meeting and our next meeting, you have the first, or I guess the Hall of Fame for the Clinton High School will be taking place, right? I think that's October.
I think it's,
11th.
yeah,
Now that's held here at the town hall.
Yeah.
I think tickets can be purchased through the Clinton Boosters if there are still tickets available.
yeah. I think that's next week. But you can go to clintonboosters.com for more information on that. I did see the Parks and Recreation Department is starting their fall movies, starting with, I think, Ghostbusters tomorrow night at 7, I believe, in the park. Central Park. Yep. So they're replacing concerts with movies. So come on out.
Tickets for Holiday Pop seems to be on the docket
Yeah.
soon too, so keep an eye out for that.
And also, I think that the boosters are doing a fundraiser where you can have a gale painted in your driveway as a fundraiser.
Yep. And we mentioned the Ghost and Goblins Run, which is another fundraiser for them, the boosters on November 1st.
Yeah, in conjunction with the Rafael Perez Memorial Scholarship.
All right. Follow those boosters. They have a lot of updates. Okay. We are now leaving open session to go to a closed executive session, Article 2, Clinton Fire Union grievance. We will not be returning to open session following that. I'll take a roll call to move into executive.
Bill Conley, aye.
Sean Kerrigan, aye.
Julie Bruce, aye.
Matt Kobus, aye.
Mary Dick, aye.